Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a great day. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I wanted to hop in for a minute and say hello. And I hope you all are doing well. I hope you're having a great day. And I wanted to talk to you guys about this recession situation. Whether or not we are in a recession, I think that's a good question to ask in terms of what's going on with this economy. A lot of people have talked about some of the things that have been happening in terms of the uncertainty that's been really rocking the stock market. The tariffs, the use of the word tariffs is a scary word because tariffs tend to be inflationary. And also, so when you mix the uncertainty with the tariffs, you're at risk of having an inflation driven economy where you also are having a slowdown. So, anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know if I'm coming through all right. Give me a quick yes in the chat. I'm going to jump right to it. And so the real topic for today is whether or not we're running into a recession. Is there a recession on the way? I'd like to know. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you think that we're headed toward a recession or if you think it's still 50-50. A lot of economists pretty much are saying that there's about a 37% chance of a recession. I think the number is a little bit higher than that. And I was sitting and I was thinking about this today and I said, how do we know that we're not in a recession already? How do we know that we're not already in the middle of a recession that we just that we don't know about? And so what I decided to do was do a little investigating in order to determine what evidence there might be that we could actually that the recession could have already started and that we might be in the middle of it and not even know that. Because I can tell you, when you look at the data doesn't really speak to a strong economy right now. It doesn't say that America is in great shape. It says that we are kind of headed downward. And I had to put this on the back of the White House. The White House is pretty much doing this. So let me show you some evidence I saw, just some stuff that might make you think a little bit. I saw an article, and the article was basically related to credit card stuff. So let me see. I'm gonna try to share my screen here. Let me see. Hold on. Let me do something here real quick. There we go. So there's an article here that talks about layoffs, and this week you should keep your eyes open because there's going to be a jobs report coming out this week, and the jobs report will tell us a lot about the state of the economy. If you want to know what rocked your stocks the other day, it was the inflation numbers. The inflation numbers were garbage and pretty much said we're in big, that inflation's higher than what we expected it to be. And that right there sent some alarm bells through the stock market. Now, right now, what also hasn't really been fully explored or fully investigated or fully looked into is whether or not there's a slowdown in other areas, whether or not the layoff numbers are growing. If they're growing, that's a bad. That's like a double whammy because you also have some adjustments in consumer spending. The consumer has been pretty much the major driver of the stock market. The consumer has been the one who has been who's pretty much been carrying the economy on his or her back, and this is something that generally is true. I mean, something that can usually. Now, someone says my camera keeps bouncing. I'm sorry, Tanny. It seems like that really bothers Tanny a lot. Does my camera bouncing bother you guys? Are you guys having a hard time watching? Seems like Tanny's having a reaction over there. All right, so let me show you something that also is interesting. There's this thing called the yield curve. And if you look at the yield curve, you will see that the yield curve is it's okay, Tanny. I love you too. It's funny. It's funny it says Tanny Tantan because Tanny, my sister's name is Tangy, and on her phone it says Tantan. So it's so anyway. So I thought maybe you were my sister messing with me today. But yeah, but don't. Sorry, I'll fix the bouncing next time. Let's try to focus here. All right. So basically, this yield curve shows that it shows interest rates on bonds of different maturities. And if you go further out, typically the yield curve doesn't look like this. Typically, the yield curve is actually sloping upward. And actually, in this case, you have what you call an inverted yield curve. And where the way you know it's inverted is you notice that as you go out further, the yield starts to go down. That means that the longer term bonds have lower interest rates attached to them than the lower yields than the shorter term bonds. That's a problem. That's a big problem. An inverted yield curve is typically a strong predictor
that there might be an a recession on the way. So when you look at that yield curve, the question that might be asked is, well, what does a yield curve normally look like? So let me show you all what a normal yield curve is supposed to look like. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up here. A normal yield curve looks a lot like this. So a normal yield curve is upward and it goes up to the right. The inverted yield curve is a traditional metric that can predict when a recession is either happening or it's on the way. And so that's yet another piece of information that got me thinking in terms of what's going on with this economy. Now, as we move forward, do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. You're watching drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. If you like this type of stuff, if you like Black wealth content, I do have a podcast on Spotify. I have two of them. One's called the Dr. Boyce Breakdown, and the other one is called Dr. Boyce Daily Stock Market. So if you type Dr. Boyce in Spotify, you'll find me there. Also, tonight, we're going to do stock options training. So if you're interested in generating income by selling stock options, that's the main thing we focus on in this class. It's called Prime. Feel free to go to drboyceprime.com, drboyceprime.com. I think selling stock options is a great way to make money. So feel free to join us tonight. All right. So that right there is another piece of evidence that we could be in a recession already. Now here, let's keep going here. In terms of another piece of evidence that says that we could be in a recession. Let me pull this one up. This is one that really got my attention too. It has to do with that consumer. Remember I was telling you how consumers are the ones that have pretty much boosted up the economy because Americans love to spend money. Well, if you look here, this article, basically looking at data for the last quarter of 2024, it's from CNBC, and it basically says that that credit card delinquencies are higher, and also consumers are more and more readily making the minimum payments on their credit cards right now. That's a bad sign. That's not good news. It says here, let me read some of this to you. It says the share of active credit card holders just making the minimum payments rose to 10.75% in the third quarter of 2024, the highest ever going back to 2012. So you got to go all the way back over a decade, 12 years, to find numbers that high. The share balances more than 30 days past due rose to 3.52%, an increase from 3.21%, a year-over-year gain of more than 10%. Even with the rising delinquency rate, it is still well above the 6.8% peak, or well below the peak during the 08-09 financial crisis, and not yet indicative of serious strains. So that might be another number to keep up with and pay attention to as you're trying to figure out if we're in a recession or not. Again, I can't say that we are or are not for sure, but I can't say that these are things that are worth paying attention to. Now, should I buy bonds right now? I personally think bonds should always be in your portfolio. I have a list of bond funds that I like, and I'm sending them out to the students. If you want to get this list, text the word money to the number 87948. I'll also send you a link to a training I did called How to Make Money Without Working. So just text the word money, MONEY, to 87948, and you can get a lot of information from the Black Business School, stuff like that. All right. So anyway, guys, I wasn't gonna keep you long. I just wanted to pop in really quick and touch bases with you. Keep an eye out on the jobs numbers this week. That's going to be big. Also, the stock market, it had a rough day Friday. I'm a believer. I mean, based on history, typically a lot of times when the market has a really bad day, that means a good day could be on the horizon, or another really bad day. So no one really knows for sure. But don't be surprised if tomorrow's headline is the stock market explodes, big money's made, big numbers are high, because Friday was so bad. Usually the market overreacts a little bit and it comes back and it apologizes by putting money in your bank account. So, but again, there's no guarantee. No one can predict. Nobody knows for sure. People who tell you that they know, they're lying. They believe me. I'm a finance professor. We study this research consistently, and no one really knows what an individual stock is going to do, and nobody really knows what the market's going to do tomorrow. But based on the data, there is some chance that you could have a good day tomorrow. So feel free to jump in. I think everybody should be invested in stocks. If you haven't started investing in stocks, I'd love to persuade you to consider it. You can go to drboystockmarket.com and join with your whole family. One membership you can try for free, see if you like it. One membership will fit an entire family. So you can bring anybody and everybody in your family to class with us and join us. We do Stock Market Tuesdays every Tuesday. And I know thousands of you have signed up. So I know a lot of you are getting value from what we're doing. All right, so Tanny says, don't forget thumbs up this video, please. See, Tanny, since you made me real sensitive about my camera bouncing, because I know what happens. I hit when I move around and I hit stuff, it makes it bounce. Then I started doing like this because I didn't want to mess it up. So I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but we're trying out the new setups and stuff like that. So I hope that you can forgive me for not doing everything perfect. So anyway, have a good day, everybody. God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And again, later on tonight, Dr. Alicia, who's the head of our Black Financial Therapy Department, she's doing a special session, a private session on jealousy and infidelity. You know, she's a relationship expert as well as a full professor of social work and a therapist. So if you're interested in that, you can actually get an invitation from her to her sessions by texting the word love to 87948. So we have a lot of stuff happening in the Black Business School, usually things happening every single day. We want to add value to your family, and I hope you'll hang out with us. All right, so have a good day, everybody. God bless you. I'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.